Hello and welcome to another beautiful day in the forest. Today I'm also reviewing an old Digicam, and the camera of the day is the Olympus C3040Z Zoom from the year 2001. From the front, this camera sort of looks like a 35mm point and shoot from the 80s, but of course if you turn the camera around, it's unmistakably a digital camera with the screen and everything on the back. The lens has quite good specifications. At the widest, the largest f-stop is 1.8, and then it goes down to 2.7 when zooming in, so it still keeps quite a good f-stop throughout the zoom range. The form factor is quite nice as well. The grip is very nice to hold. It's a bit chunky perhaps, so it's not really a pocket camera, but then again it's more designed as an advanced compact camera or advanced point and shoot, let's say. It uses 4 AA batteries, and they are of course very easy to find. So that's no problem powering this camera. And it works quite well with standard rechargeable batteries. And for storage it uses smart media cards, which are not so easy to find these days. I have a 64MB one and I get around 80 shots or so, so it's enough for one day of shooting. The camera is started with the mode dial, just to turn it to one of the modes. And in this case program mode, which I used most on it. It also has the manual settings mode. And one important thing, or let's say usability issue with the camera, is that if you open it with the lens cap on, you get all sort of errors and you get all sort of nasty sounds. Oh yeah, you should not try to open it with the cap on. On the top screen the basic shooting information is shown. At the moment it shows how many photos I have left, and turn off the flash, it will give different information about that, so you don't have to have the screen open when shooting with this camera, so you can use only the optical viewfinder and have the settings shown here. But it will not show the manual exposure settings. For that you have to look in the screen. And also the viewfinder does not have any extra information. It only has like 2 LEDs to indicate when it's focused and when you're taking the picture. So let's have a look at the menus and what sort of settings you can change. Now the menu, well, there's one main menu. There's some sub menus. They're not so easy to navigate, I have to say. But well, first of all, you can change the focus to manual, so that's nice if you need, for example, for night photography. And okay, let's go back to the menu. Then drive mode, there are different like burst modes and self-timer modes. There's also remote available for this camera, and also there's bracketing possible. There are a few presets for the white balance, which is quite nice. For the ISO the maximum is 400, so not so high, but it's typical for cameras from this time. You can leave it on auto for now. And the exposure compensation goes up to a few stops, 2 stops. Yeah, so the most, let's say, important settings are changeable or reachable quite easily on the first page of the menu. And the function option is not entirely clear what it does from just looking at it, but there are different like modes like black and white and sepia and whiteboard and blackboard. I'm not entirely sure what they are for, but they make the screen, okay, now shut off the screen, but it makes it like black, not black and white, okay, black and white, but also like super high contrast. I don't know really what this is for, but I can take some photos with each mode and show them more. And well, the card setup is for formatting, but that I don't want to do right now. And the mode setup, it hides even more stuff. Like here is a lot of settings under it. I mean, these menus don't really make that much sense. Like, why are these, like for example, the color modes should be under the function, I think, because it's more easy to reach. But yeah, as you can see, you can change some settings, like the white balance can have a, okay, so I'm not supposed to press okay, wait, back here, and to access this menu you have to press the side button and then okay. Right, so you can change the, let's say, color bias more red or blue, and this is separate from the white balance. The next one I've been using is the contrast, and here, well, the menu makes more sense actually. Okay, let's put it on high contrast. It's kind of dull light today anyway, so I'm curious how this look will become. Yeah, anyway, so in conclusion, the menus are not fun at all to navigate, but there are a lot of settings in it if you dig around a bit. There is a video mode. Also, I haven't really used it that much, but I can demonstrate it here. So let's see how the image quality and sound quality is on this camera. And what about the image quality? Well, it has 3.3 megapixels, as it's clearly written on the front. The photos have a very nice early digital look, or let's say distinct early 2000s look. I've shot with the camera in a few different light conditions and also tried out the different picture settings. My first, let's say, photo shoot with the camera was in quite gloomy weather, and it does capture that atmosphere quite well. When it comes to the colors, it seems to desaturate the yellows and emphasize the reds. For example, in this picture, the yellows were much stronger on location. For my second shoot, I went out during sunset, and here I played a bit more with the picture settings as well. I set the colors to red and high contrast. And yeah, the photos did turn out very saturated, sometimes a bit much maybe, but I do like this look, and you can get quite nice saturated color from this camera. When it comes to low light and the high ISO settings, it looks quite good actually, but it seems like the grains, or let's say noise, get smoothed out quite a lot compared to other cameras from this time. It's a very smooth look. In sunlight, the photos look, well, I would say realistic, but with slightly desaturated colors, except for the reds, once again. And these photos are shot at the default settings. They could perhaps need some more contrast. So I think next time I use this in sunlight, I will put more contrast in the settings. So overall, I would say that the Olympus C3040 Zoom is a very nice vintage Digicam. I do like using it a lot. One minus is, well, the smart media card. They're quite difficult to find these days. Another minus, at least for me, is the framing of the viewfinder, because it doesn't show that precisely what you will get. So I like shooting more, let's say, composed photos, and I noticed that they look a bit different from when I was at the scene. So I ended up using the screen on the back mostly for shooting the photos. So yeah, I don't use the viewfinder that much. Of course, it's good when you are in a very high contrast situation with a lot of sunlight. In that case, the screen is not so visible, so there the viewfinder comes in very handy. Other than that, it's a very nice early 2000s vintage Digicam experience, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for such a camera. Yeah. Good luck finding a smart media card though.